So today is going to be a little bit of a simpler, more chill video because my last video was quite an undertaking and I am genuinely very blown away by the response to that. Thank you so much for enjoying it and enjoying Claudette. And I am working on my next repaint currently. However, it is in the planning stages and that is going to take a tiny bit of time. So for the time being, I thought I would just do a quicker video for you to tide you over until those projects are ready. So for this video, I'm going to be showing you some of my doll furniture thrift finds. I personally have a lot of guilt over spending too much money on non-essential things, so I pretty much spend all my time hunting for bargains on secondhand marketplaces like Vinted and eBay, and I have managed to amass a decent little collection of doll furniture and things because I do really like to set up dioramas and such with my dolls, and I thought it would be fun to share some of them with you because I think they are pretty cool. One of the first things that I ever thrifted for my dolls, at least in terms of furniture, was this living room set that is from Cindy. Now, if you are not from the UK, or actually even if you are, you might not be aware of Cindy dolls. They were kind of like the UK's answer to Barbie. At least I think Barbie came first. I'll have to check that. But she was a 1/6 scale doll, and she had a lot of really nice, realistic looking accessories. She isn't really in production in the same way that she used to be, in that I think her 1/6 scale dolls are more like collector based, and I know there is an 18-inch doll variant. But she isn't that widely collected as a vintage doll, and therefore you can get lots of her vintage furniture items for really reasonable prices secondhand. I got these two as a set for, I think it was about £4. I will put the conversion into dollars somewhere on the screen. But I just really love how realistically shaded they are, and they're kind of squishy. If you can see that or hear that. They're kind of like a bath toy, if you can imagine that sort of texture, like a rubber duck or something. Apologies, they're a little bit dusty. I just really like them, and as I said, she was a 1/6 scale doll, so Barbie can sit very comfortably on this sofa here, and she just fits really nicely because I don't actually have any Cindy dolls. My mum, I think, had them when she was little. But yeah, so if you are a Barbie doll collector in the UK, I would recommend looking into some secondhand Cindy things because they're just very reasonable and I really like how realistic they look. And they also have that slightly vintage kind of feel. I think these were from the 60s or 70s, potentially. I'm not entirely sure. I will let you know. But yeah, pro tip, check out some Cindy things. Staying on the Cindy vein, I actually have this Cindy dressing table which came in its original box. You can see Cindy there and the older branding. I'll just show you. I was really excited that this came in its original box. I just think it's really nice to have as some sort of vintage doll memorabilia. I really love the detail on this. Now, like I said, a lot of these have been in storage, so I haven't really unpackaged a lot of it. But here we have our little doll dressing table, and it came with a little mirror and some sort of pots like for makeup supplies and a little comb, which is really fun. This I actually received as a gift, that it was on my wish list. I think it was about £10 on Vinted, which is really good considering the fact it came in its original box. We have some, you know, scratching up on the little tiny mirror here, but I am very much okay with that. As you can see, obviously the drawers work. Whoops. And in this other drawer we have a little vase of flowers to display, and put that back in. Then, of course, being a dressing table, it does come with a mirror, which is surprisingly very reflective, and I struggle a lot with a mirror phobia and body dysmorphia and stuff like that, so I will not be doing any kind of face reveal anytime soon. But if I just get out of the way of the camera, it just slots into the back here. I really like these details on the top here, and yeah, I just think it's really realistic and kind of quaint looking, and it kind of goes with that sort of coquette core aesthetic that's very in fashion at the moment. I'll just remove that again so I can sit back down. The last piece that goes with this is a little stool, and the stool is, there we go, matching with the little gold sort of, I guess is that filigree? I don't quite know the word. But it has a fabric top, which is quite worn now, so I might try and potentially remove and replace that. But yeah, it goes nicely as a little set. There is some yellowing, but that I am totally fine with, considering the age of this thing. As you can probably tell from the box, I think again it was 60s or 70s. But yeah, I really like this piece, and I would recommend looking into it. I see quite a lot of these online, and they are generally very reasonably priced on the second-hand market. So I can't obviously guarantee yours will come in box or with all the accessories, but it is very worth looking into. I don't know if I showed this incredibly tiny comb, but yeah, a fun find. Staying with the Cindy theme again, apologies, these are slightly damp because I just had to give them a wipe down because they were a little bit dusty. But these came as a set, and again I think these were £4 on eBay, and they are actually Cindy rocking chairs, if you can see that. And then like a nice dark blue. They are again that similar bath toy kind of texture, which I like because I think it adds some realism that they are kind of squishy. And yeah, again, I just really like these. I got these at a similar time to the red chair set that I showed you at the beginning, and I just think that they go really nicely in a little doll diorama. They have that kind of slightly retro vibe. They fit Barbie quite nicely. And yeah, not a huge amount to say about these, so keep an eye out if that's something that you like. Next up we have yet another Cindy dressing table with much the same mirror problem. And this one is a bit larger and it has lots of storage. Most of these drawers open. These top three are molded in, but the others all open, and it comes with this footstool, which, as you can hear, I am using for storage because the top comes off. It has some little spaces for storage in the bottom, and then this part is all open, so I can store lots of little tiny dressing table things in there for when I am not using it. And then the top is kind of a quilted look, but it is plastic, unlike the other dressing table. And yeah, just another really useful piece. If you take the mirror off, it folds up and you can use it more as like a dresser, which is also quite useful, or even like a desk or a bureau or something like that. It's a very, very pale pink. It's quite faded because, again, I don't know the age on this, but I think Cindy was at peak popularity around the 70s, so it could be from the 70s. I think it's a really nice kind of neutral piece, and it can be used in lots of different ways in your dioramas. For our first non-Cindy item, I have these little Bratz love seats. I think these are from 2004, potentially. And I believe they came with like a ski lodge set or something. But I found these, one was £2 and one was £1. I bought them in separate lots on Vinted. And they actually, if I show you the underside, they're actually this kind of slightly shiny, lighter brown plastic. But I just went over and repainted them both. I can probably insert some pictures from the internet of how they were originally, but I just went in and repainted them and dry brushed them with some darker accents for shading and painted these little buttons around the edges gold. And I think it came out very realistically. The only problem, obviously, is that they are, like I said, a little bit underscaled for Barbie since they are Bratz. They're intended as love seats for Bratz, but I think they could pass more as armchairs for Barbie. The only issue being the height. As you can see, she has to stretch her legs out in order to sit on these. But I might add some little wooden beads underneath as feet to try and raise them up, and I think that would look quite realistic still and help them to be a bit more functional in my scale of dioramas. This is not specifically for dolls, but it is very useful for dolls. You've probably seen these in a lot of other collectors' videos and posts because they are very popular, but they are jewellery boxes shaped like little sofas, and there was also an armchair-sized one in the set, and I believe like a little chest of drawers or a dresser or something. But I have this one. Again, this was a gift from a Christmas wish list a couple of years back, and I think, I can't quite remember, but I think this was about £15 on Vinted, which is a little bit more expensive than some of the others, but it's such nice high quality, and like I just love how soft it is and that it's actually fabric. And I really like the little heart at the back. I have a doll character that I think would really like this, and it goes well with her kind of aesthetic. As you can see, Barbie fits really nicely, and the doll that I wanted this for fits even better because she is a petite Barbie. But I really enjoy this, and of course it does have the jewellery box element inside. As you can see, I've stored some little Mycene shoes in there for safekeeping, and there is a little compact sort of mirror thing inside, which I won't show you for obvious reasons, but yeah, it's fabric all the way around, and underneath it has these nice metal feet, and it's plushy. So yeah, I just think that's a really nice addition to any doll's house, and it's really fortunate when you can come across them secondhand. Next up, a little honourable mention to this. I don't entirely know where this is from. It's definitely not intended for dolls. I think it's just a little ornamental miniature. I picked it up at my local charity shop. I think it was £1. It was really reasonable, and I thought it would fit really nicely in the background on a nightstand or in the centre of a dining table maybe. And it's, I want to say ceramic, although that's probably not right. Maybe porcelain? I'm not sure. It does have a little label on the bottom. It says Flowers of the Year. So I guess it was for a Flowers of the Year collection, perhaps? I'm not sure. But I really liked it. There is some paint chipping in a few places, but I can easily repair that, or just turn it to the back so that you can't see. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I love when you find miniature things when you aren't really even looking for them. So keep a lookout for something along these lines at your local charity shop, I suppose. Next up, we have our first piece of actual Barbie furniture. At least I think so. I believe this is from like the Fashion Fever kind of era of Barbie. I actually never collected any Barbie as a child or anything, so I honestly am very much not clued up on the eras and things. But I bought this with the chair for £1 on Vinted, and it also came with a little lamp, like a standing lamp. Let me try and find that quickly. Here we go. I had intentions to paint this. You might have seen it in my diorama with the Mediterranean shelves and the cloud sofa, if you've watched those videos. But yeah, it sort of pops in and out of this stand, and this lampshade can pop on and off as well. I do want to paint it at some point because I think it being all white isn't the most realistic thing, but it's nice just as a little side piece in the meantime. And then of course we have this little table, or a desk is what I have been using it as, and a little desk chair that does spin, although it's a little stiff. And these are made for Barbie, so of course she fits perfectly on them. And yeah, I think that was quite a steal for £1 for all three. So for this next set, you have actually already seen the shelves because I used them to get my measurements for my shelf making tutorial, if you've seen that video. But these are a set of Barbie Mycene furniture items. I bought them, I think they were £5 for the set on Vinted. They also came with a little blue footstool thing that's kind of sculpted to look like padded. And I don't have that here right now because I actually attempted to repaint it a little bit to add some shading in the same way as I did with the Bratz couches, and it didn't go that well. So that is currently out of commission. But I have these two to show you. Mycene is definitely one of my favourite eras of Barbie, not so much for the dolls, but for the furniture and clothing and accessories. I really like how it kind of encapsulates that Y2K aesthetic that's very popular at the moment. And I do really think that these would take well to a nice repaint with some dry brushing to bring out the details, because this sculpting on the front is probably my favourite thing about these, the little roses and the swirly vines and things. I love that kind of vintage look that it's got going on. And as much as I do like this reddish colour, I do think it's supposed to read as like mahogany, but it doesn't because it's all one flat colour. So if you'd like me to do a video showing how I repaint these kinds of items to make them a little bit more realistic, then let me know in the comments down below and I can definitely look into doing that for you. So to finish off now, we do have another couple of Cindy items. But these are different because they are modern items for the 18-inch Cindy. And obviously, being for 18-inch dolls, these are very much overscaled for Barbie. However, some items I think can work fine. And that's why I got this little sort of side table type thing. It's almost like a console table. I felt like it could work nicely as a TV stand or something. Drawers open. I think they're supposed to, but maybe they're a little bit... There we go. They do open. This was a really nice colour. I love this shade of like bluey green. Hopefully that's showing up on camera. And we also have this little lamp, which I could not resist getting because it actually lights up. It's not super bright or anything, but I just thought that was a really cute feature. And So these became part of the collection. I'm afraid I don't know how much this set was, mainly because it came with a few other pieces that I did determine were just way too big for Barbie, which makes sense because obviously they were intended for 18-inch dolls, and I kind of thought maybe I could get away with it, but I just couldn't. So I held on to these two, but the others have been repurposed, so I don't have a price for these two specifically. I promise it won't have been too expensive. So that's our video all done. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit shorter and less involved than some of my other videos, but I had fun showing off some of my favourite thrift finds, and I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, I would very much appreciate a like and maybe a subscribe, and I'll see you next time for a video more along the lines of my other content. Bye!